Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Acharei-Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here. Parshas Acharei-Kedosim. Really, it's some of the most fundamentals of the Torah here in the Parshas of Acharei-Kedosim, and we're going to pick to speak about today probably the most fundamental one. The pasuk says here in Parshas Kedosim, Perek Yutet pasuk Yudches, Lo tikom v'lo titoras b'nei amecha, V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha, Ani Hashem. Person has a responsibility, a chiyuv, a mitzvah d'oraisa, to love your friend as you love yourself. And famous statement of Rabbi Akiva, Rashi brings, V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha, Amar Rabbi Akiva, Zeh klal gadol b'Torah. This is a great rule of the Torah. What is the mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha? Maybe this is a mitzvah is a little bit misunderstood. On the one hand, it might seem like some kind of very fluffy thing that, we have to love everybody, but how do we actually be mekayim this mitzvah? And if you get angry at somebody, you get upset at somebody, are you no longer being mekayim the mitzvah? Do you have to actually feel real love for every single person? And what if you don't? What if you don't feel real love for everybody? Is it normal to feel real love for everybody? Is that a normal thing to love your children the same way as you love a stranger? This seems to be a little bit extreme. It seems that this responsibility is perhaps a little bit way beyond what people can do. And it's a nice catchphrase for a lot of people, right? We have to love everybody, but practically speaking, how do you do that? And what's my responsibility in the mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha? So here I think we'll just spend some minutes talking about this mitzvah, V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha. I think what we can say is there's an ideal, and then there's steps, practical steps. There's the minimum requirements in order to be mekayim the mitzvah, or to not to be over on the mitzvah. And then there are levels above that. So let's start with the most basic level. The most basic level, according to many shittas, is that a person is mekayim the mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha by not doing something bad to somebody else. Famously, the story in Masechah Shabbos about Hillel, that there was a man who came to Hillel and says, I will become a Jew if you teach me the entire Torah while I'm standing on one foot. And obviously, how can you do that? How can you teach the entire Torah? But Hillel gave a rule. This rule is the basis of their whole Torah. That rule is, don't do to somebody else what you would not want to do to you. They want them to do to you. Rashi there explains that this also includes the mitzvahs to Hashem, that don't do to Hashem something that you wouldn't want to be done to yourself, which means we have to keep the mitzvahs as well. But certainly the idea, the basic idea is just to be considerate. You don't want somebody to hurt you, don't hurt somebody else. This, according to the Maharal and others, is the most basic way to be mekayim the mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha. Don't hurt somebody else. You don't want them to hurt you. You don't do to them. Be considerate. Think about it for a second. How would I feel if somebody did something like that to me? That is the basics of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha. I should love him like I love myself. Just like I don't want anybody to do something bad to me, I shouldn't do anything bad to somebody else. This is a very basic level. It doesn't require me to actually feel a great love for my fellow Jew. What it does require is that I should think about them. And I should be considerate. What I do, be careful. Don't hurt somebody else. This is actually also a bit challenging for a lot of people. We live in a dog-eat-dog world, a rat race type of world where everybody's trying to claw their way to the top and they don't care who they have to step on. And that's the atmosphere that's created around the world. I'm always looking for myself. Being selfish is the exact opposite of this mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha, of loving one's brother like you love yourself, our friends, our neighbors. I have to be considerate. I don't want them to do that to me. I'm not going to do it to them either. This is already a madrega. It is a level. This is the most basic way. The Rishonim go on to explain that it goes beyond this. You person can not only keep away from the negative, but to do positive as well. I want to do something actively for them. Why? Because they need help and I want to help them. That's a level up. It's not just that I'm not going to do anything bad to them. I'm actually going to seek out to do something good for them as well. That is the next level up, because yes, it might be a lot easier. Okay, my neighbor and I will, like they say, good fences make good neighbors. We won't hurt each other. We won't bother each other. But who says that we're going to work, we're going to be friendly? Do I have a responsibility to be friendly? Not necessarily. But that's the next level up. When I view my fellow Jew as part of me, and that's what it means, L'reiacha Kamocha, that I view them as part of me, then I want to do them good. Don't I want somebody to do good for me? I should be doing good for somebody else too. This is an enhancement. Now I want to add a very important point over here. This is something very, very significant. The feeling of love isn't necessarily the motivation behind doing this, but I actually might come to feel love if I do it. In other words, which one comes first? I love somebody and therefore I do good for them, or I do good for them and because of that I love them. In order to enhance our feeling of camaraderie, that feeling of connection to our fellow Jew, even if I don't feel it right now, do something. If you do something, you'll feel more connected. So even though I don't necessarily have the greatest connection with a neighbor or somebody else from the community or from my shul, if a person does something to create that connection, you'll actually feel it a little bit more. This is the idea behind Mishloach Manos on Purim, that even though we're not necessarily the closest, but I'm sending you a little gift. I'm sending you a little gift because we're all Jews. We should all be connected. That now is enhancing love. So when we're talking about love, the first part of love is don't hurt somebody else. Don't hurt somebody else. That shows that I care about you. I care. I care enough not to hurt you. It's not the greatest love in the world, but it's something already. And the next level up after that is, no, I'm going to actively work on that connection. After all, the Maharal explains that the word love actually means lechaber, means to connect. So therefore, if I'm giving to you, it means that I want to connect to you. And that means that's going to create that emotional feeling we call love, a feeling of connection. And the truth of the matter is the highest level, at least with human beings, is the connection between a husband and a wife. Actually, it's very interesting. If you look in the Rambam, when the Rambam describes how a husband and wife should interact, how they should be connected, the Rambam uses almost the exact same words. The obligation of a husband to love his wife as he brings for the mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha. Almost as if, well, why do you need any special obligation between the husband and wife? Don't you have it by all other Jews? But the idea over here is that really, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants there to be a real deep connection between all the Jewish people. But that's very difficult. But at least you can do it with your wife. At least you can have that intense connection, that intense love between a husband and a wife. That's possible. And that requires more than just being considerate. Of course, you have to be considerate at the lowest level. And it's even more than the level after that of, well, let me try to do something. There's a much deeper level, much stronger level of connection that needs to be by a husband and a wife, that they have to put in much more effort. And there is a responsibility. It's not just a nice thing to do. There's a responsibility to create that love. And therefore, the ultimate place that a person can be mekayim, the mitzvah of V'ahavta L'reiacha Kamocha, is actually with their spouse. We should all be zoich with this focus. We should all be able to look at our relationships, whether it's relationships with our neighbor, whether it's a relationship with our friends or whether it's a relationship with our spouse. And we can truly understand that what Hashem wants from us is to make a deeper, better connection. All right, we should all be Zoicha. Have a good Shabbos.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.